The number of persons who have lost their lives continue to climb after the passing of Hurricane Iota. Hurricane Iota has devastated communities in Central America. Approximately 19 persons have lost their lives. Tens of thousands have been left homeless. It was the second major hurricane to hit the region in less than 2 weeks. Thousands of persons across Central America face lack of drinking water, food and basic supplies after 2 hurricanes hit the region, destroyed homes, hospitals, and other critical infrastructure, and piling one disaster on top of another. Hurricane Iota made landfall in a region that was struggling to recover from the widespread devastation caused by Hurricane Iota, which left tens of thousands of persons homeless just 2 weeks ago. Iota came ashore on Tuesday in Nicaragua, just 15 miles from where Iota made landfall on November 3rd. Both of these hurricanes were Category 4 storms when they made landfall in Nicaragua. Countries that were hit by Iota were still assessing damages and beginning the recovery process when Hurricane Iota hit the region again. The number of persons that were affected by Iota was still climbing when Iota brought the second act of this hurricane season's 1-2 punch to the region of Central America. This is very much a developing emergency, on top of which now there is another disaster, another emergency with potentially catastrophic consequences. Iota caused widespread flooding and landslides, which left at least 130 persons without their lives, and dozens of others missing or presumed fatal. At least 19 persons have lost their lives so far, based on Hurricane Iota. The official count from Iota in Nicaragua rose to 16 on Wednesday. As many as 30 persons are feared to have been buried in a landslide that was caused by rains from Iota in Matagalpa, Nicaragua. La Mesa Redonda has given that report. It should be noted that at least 2 persons lost their lives, and 1 is missing after Iota passed over Providencia, a small island in the Caribbean Sea which belongs to Colombia. It is located about 140 miles off the coast of Nicaragua. Based on reports, 98% of the island's infrastructure was damaged, and the hospital was destroyed. Homes and buildings were heavily damaged as well. Approximately 112 persons, including tourists and those with health issues, were evacuated from the island of Providencia. 6 of these persons were injured. 15 tons of supplies as well as nearly 200 troops and medical personnel are being sent to the 10.5 square mile island, where approximately 5,000 persons reside. It is destroyed. A tourist who was recently evacuated believes that the beautiful island of Providencia was destroyed. There is not a single house that is well. All of the houses were destroyed. All of the vegetation was destroyed. With sustained winds of approximately 155 miles per hour. Hurricane Iota ripped roofs of homes and trees. Boats and other debris were strewn across yards and roadways. The island was destroyed and all the houses were erased. No house was left standing. More than 260,000 persons in Colombia are estimated to have been affected by the hurricane. The agency also mentioned that 63,000 persons in Nicaragua were evacuated to 600 shelters. Thousands of people were also evacuated to Honduras. According to some, they are facing an incredible emergency. There is no food and there is no water. Approximately 40,000 persons in the area had been moved to shelters. Some persons had to be rescued. Officials in Panama have said that 1 person lost his life and 1 was missing in Nolduema in the Ngaba-Bugele region. Hurricane Iota is no little feat. It is no little hurricane. It is a massive Category 4 storm, and it tore off roofs as it ran across Central America and destroyed it totally. Iota roared ashore like a lion, just 15 miles away from where Hurricane Eta hit 2 weeks ago, and it is very unfortunate for this region to have been hit by two massive Category 4 storms. High winds from Hurricane Iota ripped the roof of a makeshift hospital in Puerto Cabezas. One person lost their lives in Colombia on the island of Providencia. One person also lost their lives in Panama, and the storm took 2 persons' lives in Nicaragua. For the second time in 2 weeks, the Nicaraguans are struggling to dig themselves out of another destructive disaster that was left by a massive and a major hurricane called Iota. Hurricane Iota came ashore at 10:40 p.m. on Monday, just 15 miles from where Hurricane Eta made landfall on November 3rd. The storm has weakened, but it could still cause deadly landslides as it drags into Honduras. It had sustained winds of approximately 155 miles. It ripped off roofs of buildings and shredded trees. Torrential rains flooded streets. 4 persons who lost their lives have been connected to the storm. In Nicaragua, of course, it should be noted that a river swelled near the community of La Pinuela and caused the loss of lives of 2 siblings aged 8 and 11. Patients were also evacuated from a makeshift hospital in Puerto Cabezas after the roof was torn away. The area's New Dawn Hospital has been considered unsafe to use since Hurricane Eta. More than 114,000 homes across Nicaragua had no electricity on Monday, and more than 55,000 families were in shelters. Approximately 47,000 families had no drinking water service because of Hurricane Iota. Heavy rains flooded the Rivas region in Nicaragua, which caused rivers to overflow into homes and over bridges. One family in Salinas Grande in Riva waded in waist-deep water inside their home as the children sat on top of tables. On Monday, of course, it was reported that 1 person lost their lives on the island of Providencia, a Colombian island off the coast of Nicaragua. It should be noted that Iota had damaged most of the island's infrastructure. In Honduras, approximately 74 persons lost their lives during Hurricane Eta, and many persons had to be evacuated. Actually, thousands of persons were evacuated from areas that were previously flooded by Eta. Heavy rains were already falling on the region, where it was beginning in the capital city of Tegucigalpa. The city's mayors ordered bridges over major rivers to be closed. 40 homes were destroyed and 7 persons were injured in the Gracias a Dios region. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. What do you think about the devastation in Central America?